Hello and welcome to the next episode of Kyrus Has Friends. My name is Kyrus Keenan Westcott, and today we are with a very special guest, a very good friend of mine. But before we get to her, just a couple plugs for me. If you like anything that you're watching right now, please be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The Vibe with Kai. You can also follow me on Pinterest. I think I'm on Pinterest. No, not Pinterest. I'm on Pinterest. I am on Pinterest. I'm going to start this over. I'm not on Pinterest. What am I talking? No, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna keep it. This is staying in.
I love it. I'm on Pinterest, so
you know what? We're doing it live. We're doing it live. All right, here we go. We're not cutting this. I'm just gonna so you guys can see how much I'm on the struggle bus today. All right, let's do this.
I love it. Right.
Hello and welcome to Kyrus Has Friends. My name is Kyrus Keenan Westcott, and I'm here with a very special guest. If you like what you're watching today, if you're still sticking with me after that debacle that you just saw, please feel free to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The Vibe with Kai. You can also follow me on Snapchat and on TikTok at Kyrus Keenan. I'm always doing something a little crazy, a little something that'll make you smile, a little something that will kind of help improve your day and your life. That's the whole goal here. And then last but not least, you can visit my website at thevibewithkai.com, where I'm always posting blogs and lifestyle tips and things that'll make you feel good, be good, do good, so that you can live a good life full of good vibes. Whew, I got that out of the way. Now we can get to the fun part. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome to the show my good friend. Do we even need an introduction? Do you even want an introduction?
No, I think they all just know.
I think they just know. Please welcome to the stage my friends, Mariah Frost-Lopez.
Yay!
Hi, how are you?
Hi! I'm well. I'm hot, but I'm well.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
What is going on? You are pregnant.
I am pregnant.
You are pregnant with a human child. What is that like?
It's extremely weird. Alex and my husband and I keep going, who allowed this? Like, I don't feel, I mean, I'm in my 30s and I don't feel it, which is good, I guess.
You look great.
Thanks.
You look great. And I said this to her right before we started rolling today. I looked at her and I'm like, you are glowing.
Aww.
Like, literally glowing. Like, take a sec. Can we just take a second and just take a look at this woman that I'm staring at right now? Good Lord, you look fantastic.
Thanks. I think the glow is, like I said, from my lights, but I've been told that a lot this week. I think we're just really excited. It's a different chapter that we're ready to start. So it's definitely the topic of every conversation is us being pregnant. It's the first grandbaby on my husband's side.
Oh wow! So this is so you're saying that it's going to be like spoiled is what's going to happen, right?
Oh, it's all right. She's already spoiled. And then
can I say that? Are we allowed to say whether it's a boy or girl? Can I say
yeah.
it? Okay,
yeah,
all right. So she is going to be spoiled for sure.
Is. Yeah. And she's the eighth on my side, on my dad's,
my
parents' side.
So what's it like being pregnant during a quarantine and during this whole pandemic? Is it like, I know this is your first child, but like, is it hard? Do you feel like it could be easier if you're allowed to go outside? Like, how are you feeling through all of this?
So I honestly am not the most positive person. I've definitely tried over the years to be more positive and not to plug away at you, but it does help having somebody so like happy all the time where it's like, oh my God, can you just have a bad day? But
I am happy all the time. I never have a bad day. I never have a bad day. I never have a bad day. I never have a bad day.
But you know, it's like I kind of just decided, I mean, I work in healthcare, so I understand all aspects of the quarantine and everything, but I'm not personally quarantined, so nothing really changed for me. But it does suck. I'm trying to just kind of have the attitude of there's nothing I can do, so I might as well just kind of get over it and move on. So what is hard is that Alex and I have only been able to be at one doctor's visit together, and that was the very first one, like back in February, and then all this stuff happened with the quarantine, and so he can't come into the offices with me. The first time that we were allowed to hear the heartbeat, he was not with me. I had to record it on my phone. So
oh my God, that's heartbreaking.
It
like,
is, and it's like
figuratively.
Yeah, it sucks, and it's like we didn't have a good experience at the first. I have to go to 2 different doctors because I'm high risk. So we went to the one and it wasn't a good experience just overall. And now we're at a different one, which we really like. So it was just like the first like couple visits, it's just been hard. And it's,
Sure.
I think the fact my heart breaks for him because I can't imagine like not being allowed to like enjoy those moments together. So it's very hard. And it's like, we have, in 2 weeks, we have the ultrasound where normally it would tell us the sex of the baby, but we already know because we had blood work.
Sure.
So it's just hard because I don't think he's going to be able to come and be with me. So they're allowing you to FaceTime or do any kind of video, which normally they don't in healthcare. So it's different, you know, and there's really not much we can do, but it does kind of, you know, it's like a different,
And well, it's really funny. I find it lovely that I mean, it means a lot that you decided to name your baby girl Kyrus. I mean, that's just like so, that's so thoughtful. Like it means the world to me. Thank you so much. Does your husband know yet that you're naming your baby girl Kyrus? I think it was his idea. Was it his idea?
Yeah, he kind of told me that, hey, this is what we're doing. And I was like, oh, okay, well.
So you alluded to this before, that you work in the healthcare field, and you've been in the healthcare field for quite some time. Mm-hmm. Obviously, this is a time period in our life where people that work in your field have very important jobs and are privy to a lot of just information that, you know, some of the public just may not know. How are you feeling right now with the current state of things and just how things are, you know, from what you see every day?
So I'm fortunate enough that I don't work in a hospital. I work in a doctor's office. Mm-hmm. So I used to be a phlebotomist with LabCorp and I stopped, and I kind of just do like front desk work now. Mm-hmm. So we're not really having patients come in. It's just like random ones that we have to for certain things. And they, you know, everyone has to wear a mask. They have to stand, and I check people out. So like I have to be around them, but they're so far from me. I'm pretty much yelling. So I've always said I feel pretty safe at work. It's still scary though, because it's like even that one person that comes in, or even a coworker, I'm like, where were you this weekend? Like, are we good? Like, do
you have to get tested? Like, do you personally have to get tested at your office at all?
No, we just, we have to have our temperatures checked before we go to our spots, like right when we walk in. And then we do have to wear a mask, most of the day. Now I'm in a separate area where I don't have to all the time because I'm far enough from my coworkers. Mm-hmm. But, so that's good because those things are hot. And somebody with I have asthma too. So it's like, it's really hot with those. Sure. I think that I understand the precautions. And like I said, I'm fortunate I don't work in the hospitals, but I'm definitely getting antsy, and I'm not even quarantined. And so I can't imagine like how people feel like having to stay home and everything, but I don't know what the answer is. I'm hoping something changes. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
when you see people like on TV and on the internet that are just blatantly just disregarding social distancing, not wearing masks, all that stuff, when you see that kind of stuff, how does it make you feel?
I'm now currently in the state of mind of we're all human and we're smart enough to make our own choices. So if you want to go out without a mask, that's your own choice if you want to get sick. If you want to go out with the mask, that's your choice to protect yourself. I'm kind of in the spot of, I get it. Like, my husband's like, well, they opened up the boardwalks and everybody went. I'm like, well, yeah, everybody went. Everyone needs to get out of the house. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I wouldn't have worn a mask outside. He just kind of stared at me and said, if I was close enough to somebody, I would. But I'm kind of in the, like, we're all adults and you can pick what's going to happen to you type area. So I think the thing that bothers me the most is when people say it's not real. Because I'm like, if you don't think it's real, then you can volunteer to hold the iPad for the patients in the hospital that have to say goodbye to their family. You know, like if you really don't think it's real, then there's no, reason why you can't help. You know, so that's really what's frustrating.
So what do you do to stay positive through all this? And I know you said you're not a positive person, but I will refute that fact because you have brought me so many smiles and so many laughs and so much joy over the past like year or so. I guess it's a little less than a year, but since I've known you, but like you are always just so full of energy and vigor, and you're just so much fun to be around. So what do you do on a daily basis to just kind of keep your spirits up? Because I know it doesn't come from nowhere. So what do you do?
So, I mean, I honestly, and that makes me happy that you say that. So I always say I'm good around people, but when it's like, if things happen in my life, like personally, I'm the first one to be like, okay, well, this is the worst thing that's going to happen. And I always I jump to those conclusions. So that's where I'm like, my initial reaction is not to be positive when it's myself. Other people, I feel like a guru. I'm like, I'll tell you everything you need to know. That's my Jewish side of me. You're going to do this, and you're going to be fine. Honestly, I think the baby helps a lot. I really do. And it's, I mean that, and I'm a Christian, so I have a very strong faith in God and everything that's going on. Which I know the other side is people like, well, if there's a God, how does this, how does he make this happen? My whole thing is with this thing, you don't miss your material things. You miss your connection with people. I miss hugging people.
Oh my God. When this is done, Mariah, I'm hugging the hell out of you. I'm hugging you and I'm not letting you go.
Yes. Like that's the one thing. If I could do anything, I just want to, I want to hug my dad. You know, like it's really tough. And my dad, he's a little sick and people that are more susceptible, like you can't touch them. And that's what kills me is like, I want to hug you. So it's hard, but it's kind of like, I really think that the baby helps. It's just, there's so much excitement. Just every day, something new I'm learning that is happening. Like I haven't felt it kick yet, but at some point I will. But I think it's that. And it's just knowing that this is not forever, you know, and there's a plan, and it'll just be different as
and you have an amazing husband too, whom I've gotten to know, and I one of the things, because we did like a Zoom call a couple weeks ago with our Into the Woods cast, which we'll talk about in a second, but one of the things that you said really stood out to me, because this is, and I'm going to put him out on blast. I'm going to put you guys out on blast here, because I love every second of this. You told us that he tucks you in at night.
He does.
And but that's adorable, and that's amazing. Does he still do that? And how does it make you feel when he's like,
yeah, so it's only because I'm pregnant. Let me put that out there. I'm not a child. But it's kind of like, so I get really tired, like clockwork, 8:30 every night. I'm like, because we'll start to watch TV and I'm like, you got about 10 minutes because I'm about to pass out. Like, I just know.
Yeah.
So he plays video games. That's how he de-stresses, and that's fine. But he'll play till like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I'm already asleep for 6 hours. So he just started randomly like, oh, do you want me to tuck you in? I'm like, okay. Because it used to be we would go to bed together and cuddle and everything. But now I'm hot, like, get off me. So he'll tuck me in. I have to get my pregnancy pillow, which is the greatest thing ever, all wrapped up. I have to have a fan or something on. Yeah. I have a stuffed animal I sleep with every night. So he gives me that. And then sometimes he'll talk to the baby, and sometimes he just says goodnight and gives me a kiss and leaves. So it, as my husband and I are very give and take. Like he is very, he has a huge personality too, though. Like everybody sees. Yeah, so it's like, it's funny because some people that don't see that side of him initially, like you guys all got to see that side right away, because theater, he's just like himself. Yeah. But he normally is like the more reserved, and I'm the more like in your face, like I'll go to your manager. I ask for French fries, not potatoes. Like,
are you Karen? Are you Karen?
No, I'm not Karen. I'm not Karen. Oh my God, no. But if you mess with my food, like, listen, we're gonna have a problem.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So you brought up theater here, right? So that's obviously how we met, and so we met during Into the Woods, so I'm wearing an Into the Woods shirt, which you made for me. Let's see if we can show the back here.
Yes.
So it says goodbye, and it says, I mean, am I right?
Am I right?
Which is one of my catchphrases. For those of you that don't know, my dream is to be on Saturday Night Live, right? I will always want to be on that show. And I have a character that I wrote for that show. And that character's catchphrase is, I mean, am I right? That's the catchphrase. I have no idea what leads up to that punchline. I don't know. I don't know what the character is about. I don't know what the circumstances. All I know is that his catchphrase is, I mean, am I right? So I tell this to the cast, and they just kind of caught on. They just kind of like kept it going. And next thing you know, it's written on the back of my t-shirt.
So one of a kind. You'll never get another shirt like that.
I loved it. But so we met during Into the Woods, and I tell this story all the time. When you came into the audition, and the very first thing that she says, because like everybody that walks up there has to like slate themselves, which means that they have to go up and say who they are, what they're singing. So Mariah goes up there and she says, "Hello, I'm Mariah Frost-Lopez," and then you said something like, "My last name is Lopez, but I don't speak Spanish." But like none of us asked.
No one even cared.
Or like it wasn't prompted, nothing. It's not like there was a Spanish requirement for the show.
No,
like,
this wasn't West Side Story. Like, what the heck?
And that's the very first thing that you ever said to me, and we have been so close ever since.
Yeah, I remember telling my husband that too, and he goes, "Why did you say that?" I said, "I like blanked, and I just was like, don't speak Spanish, so don't even try." Like, and then I stood there like, why did I say that? But you know what? You got to make them remember you, so I'll always be remembered.
And we 100% remembered you, because like I was sitting there, because I remember laughing, but I was like, were any of you going to ask her if she spoke Spanish?
Nobody even cared.
Like, the next time that you audition for me, you better prepare some Spanish, because I'm going to be like, all right, let's go. What do you got?
Right? It's going to be like 3 words. You would think I know Spanish by now. People are shocked that I've been with my husband for 10 years and I don't know Spanish. I'm like, I know like food, como is food.
But I'm so happy that we met during Into the Woods, and that was such a fun experience. Can you talk a little bit about, you know, just that show and what it meant to you and the people you met and all of that?
How much time do we have? I mean, so I've always wanted to do Into the Woods. It's been on my list. You know, every actor or actress has their bucket list. So I actually, that show, I watched it years ago. I was taken to see it at GCIT. It was the first time I ever saw it. And then I bought the Bernadette Peters version, which is fantastic. So I love The Witch. The Witch was always a dream role of mine. Yeah. And then just because I like how Bernadette plays her, very sarcastic, but like not in your face sarcastic, right. Which is kind of, I mean, I'm more in your face, but so I like it. And then as I've gotten older, and then I always loved Little Red. Like I've auditioned for Into the Woods one time before, and I got a call back for Little Red, but this is like forever ago. So I love her. Just because I'm a character performer, so I love being, I mean, character performers. You know, you get to do silly voices or something like that, which I'm used to doing. So I remember, I actually remember when I was going to audition, I was like, shoot, I didn't put Little Red on there. Maybe I should. I'm like in my 30s, like I don't look like a child anymore, I don't think. And I like don't have the body for Little Red. So I'm glad I didn't do that.
Oh my God.
But I'm not even kidding. I almost was like, I also want to be considered for Red. But I'm happy I did it.
Oh my God.
And then like leading up to it, I was really nervous because I had auditioned for the Ritz, not the Ritz, the Grand. I had auditioned for the Grand years ago when they did In the Heights. I was trying to be Spanish, see? And and like didn't even get an email, like no callback, nothing. I was like, man. So I was like discouraged, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. Like, you know, whatever. And it's one of my favorite roles. So then preparing for it, I was like, I don't know which, like, way I want to go. So I was stuck between The Witch and The Baker's Wife. Because now being married, you know, I can resonate more with her in certain aspects. Sure. And I like the woman that plays her in the Bernadette Peters version. I don't know her name. But she's very dry, like the Office sarcasm. And I think it's hysterical. Right. So those were the 2 roles like I had initially been like, oh, maybe I'll do this and that. But then I got cast as Cinderella's stepmother. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm, you know, a foot in the door at the company. I was just like, I'll just have fun, whatever. Didn't realize like how amazing of an experience I would have, because I remember telling my husband I would come home every single night. Now, mind you, rehearsals are 7 to 10. Yeah. For someone that is like, that's late, okay? So I'm used to rehearsals being like 5 to 8 or like maybe 9. So that was a change. I remember the first like 2 weeks I was exhausted. Yes. And I really only knew one person in the cast, and he was also new. So I didn't know anyone, and I literally inched my way into Shannon, who played Little Red, her and Joe, he played the Cinderella's prince. Yeah. I inched my way into their friendship because I just saw they always had fun. So
you're just like, hey guys, what's up?
I did. One day they were like hanging out, and there was a seat, and I like went over like, hey, I'm gonna like sit here. I don't know where I got the cojones to like do this, but I did. And it was just like I would come home every time and be so happy and excited. Alex was like, I've never seen you like this. I'm like, these people are just amazing. I'm like,
that cast of Into the Woods just bonded so quickly, and like as a director, like that's all I could ever ask for, because there's nothing worse than like working with people that just don't like each other or anything like that. But you guys all just bonded so fast, and we got together for like a Zoom call a couple weeks ago, and it was as if you guys
no
had
time.
never left, you know, like
Yeah.
as if you guys were just together the whole time. And like, that's a testament to, because I know for you, like I always considered you to be in a way like the heart of that cast, because like you just had so much just like fun, and you just always uplifted everybody's spirits, like no matter what. I know you did for
Aw.
me, you know, for me personally. And I remember you would be like, Kyrus, we're best friends now. Like it wasn't even like a question, like it was just like,
Nope.
it was like, Kyrus, we're best friends now. And I was like, oh.
Yep.
And now you and everybody in that show became so close, to the point that you let like the cast of Into the Woods were one of the first group of people to know that you were pregnant.
Yeah. Yep.
Like
I found out 2 days before the Perrys.
yeah,
Not the Perrys. Oh my gosh.
the Julies.
The Julies. Oh my. I'm plugging away the wrong company.
Yeah, right.
So I found out literally 2 days before, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is going to be hard because I want to have wine, and everyone
Right.
knows how much I love wine. So I was like, I had to lie and be like, oh, my Crohn's, you know, my stomach's acting up.
Right.
But then I did end up telling Shannon, and she cried. Like, I couldn't keep it from her. I'm like, I have to tell somebody. I was just so excited.
I remember I remember when you called me, and I had just moved into my my apartment, my new
You had your
apartment.
jacket on and everything.
Yeah, because I was about to go walk outside to go get some food.
Yep.
And so, we were talking, it was me, you, and Alex, and we were talking about, you know, how, yeah, I just moved into my new apartment. You guys should come over. We'll have a glass of wine. We'll just kind of sit and talk. And then you were like, yeah, we'll have a glass of wine, but I mean, it's going to have to wait 9 months. And I was like, oh, okay. What? No. And you got it, and you taped the whole thing. You taped the whole thing, and you made like this video out of it, taping people's reactions. And I was like,
And you know what? It was just the sweetest, because it's like I watched that video. I mean, I'm very hormonal now, but even before, like, it's just like nice to see how genuinely happy people are for you. And I'm just in a different point in my life than I was even a year ago.
Yeah.
Especially with the cast. Like, I am in a point in life where it's like I have a small group of friends, but I also like I feel like I need more.
Right.
So it's kind of in the whole like, oh, I need friends type thing. So that's why I inched my way in. And I think the cast was just like, I was nervous. I'm always nervous at first with new people, only because I have a very big personality, and like I'm very sarcastic. So sometimes it has gotten me in trouble where things are taken wrong.
Same.
But I didn't have to worry about that. Yeah. So when I realized you and I were fine, I'm like, oh, best friends now. Everyone else is jealous because we're best friends. But like it was just nice to I think a few people from the cast were in the video, and it was just nice because to see everyone genuinely happy for something in your life, like it's just very heartwarming. And the cast, I remember before we closed, I told them, I'm like, well, let's hope in a couple months I'll be pregnant. Like they were the first people to know, like, hey, we're kind of like maybe trying. Like I'm excited. Yeah. And like the nicest people, like Joe, he was always like, Joe is just very laid back and doesn't like attention, but he sent me the nicest message on my birthday about like bringing a life into this world and how beautiful it's going to be inside and out. I was like in tears, like beside myself, like, oh my God, like it's just, the cast just like honestly just changed my life for the better. It was such a good experience.
Well, you are, because they changed your life because you changed theirs, you know, and you're such a beautiful soul. So like one thing that I do is whenever I'm interviewing somebody, I write down some words that describe that person. And the words I wrote down for you are friendship, love, comedy, and just heart. Like I told you this before, you were just a sweet person through and through, and I am so happy that you forced us to be best friends. And I'm so happy that like for you and Alex and for this little girl that you're going to bring into this world, and I have no doubt you and Alex are going to be two of the most beautiful, wonderful, loving parents that she could ever ask for. And I'm so happy for you both. And I mean, do you want her to get into, you know, theater or the health profession as well?
I legit had a friend be like, oh, sorry, are you going to take a break? I went, if by break you mean bring her with me to shows and like rehearsals and like she'll be in the show. Yeah. I'm like, it doesn't stop just because you have a kid. I'm not going to allow it because I mean, I've been doing shows since I was 4. My first solo in a show, I was 4. Right. So I definitely, there's no question that she'll, now if we like got her into it and she didn't like it, which is not going to happen, I wouldn't force her. But like, I'm very much, you know, I'm Alex's musical. You know, I'm musical. Like
Yeah.
well, he does too. We play instruments and stuff. So it's definitely a
Yeah.
part of our life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I hope that she likes it, but I'm not going to force her, but I am going to make her try.
That's
But I'm
fair.
pretty sure she
That's
won't.
fair.
She won't
Listen,
need
oh my
convincing.
God, I love you so much, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you took time out of your day to sit with me and to just chat with me for a couple minutes. And I adore you, and I cannot wait. Number one, for this quarantine to be over, so
Like,
like
I
we
know.
can be like actual
Cuddle.
friends and stuff again. And number two, I cannot wait to meet your baby girl, Kyrus. She is going to be a sight to behold, and I love you so much, and I thank you so much for being on the show.
Of course, you're only saying all of this because it's true. So thank
I'm
you.
only saying all of this because it's being recorded, but like once we hit the stop button, I was like, oh
It's
my God.
actually not. It's not even going to air. It's just going to be in an archive.
This is not even going to air at all. I'm just doing this for kits and shiggles. That's
Well, listen, I have one final joke to leave you with.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, now this
Okay.
is a Steve Frost original. That's my father.
Okay.
He always says, "So guess who I saw today?"
Who?
Even if you know, just say who. You got everybody I looked at.
I can't. I can't. I can't with you.
So that's the humor I grew up with. So there you go.
That explains everything, and I'm all about it. Mariah, thank you so much for sitting with me.
Thanks for
Everybody
having
else,
me.
if you enjoyed this, please continue to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The Vibe with Kai. Follow me on Snapchat and on TikTok at Kyrus Keenan. Mariah, I love you so much.
Love you.
Everybody else, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see y'all soon. Good vibes.